All right, what's up, everyone? It is Sunday, January 26, 2025. It is the MMAOB Daily Podcast. I'm your host, as always, Adam Martin. That's my co-host here, Mr. Big Marcel. We're going to preview UFC, Saudi Arabia, Adesanya versus Imavov. Looking forward to talking about the card with you, Marcel. Should be a good card. And just want to get some comments here. It's a late start tonight, guys, but it's almost 10 p.m. Marcel, I appreciate you sticking around. Just watch the Chiefs and Bills. The Bills lost by 3 points. I mean, the Chiefs are they're a very hard team to beat, especially because the referees seem to be on their side too. But yeah, I mean, it was a good game. It was a close game. Patrick Holmes is pretty amazing. He always does amazing stuff. So no surprise there. Let's go through the comments here, Marcel. We got True in the chat. We got Joe's team won. The Eagles won. It's gonna be Eagles Chiefs. It's a rematch, Marcel. They went to the Super Bowl. I think it was 2 years ago. So we got a rematch, Marcel.
Well, your odds.
I'm gonna check the odds. I mean, honestly, like I think the Eagles are a very good team. It's like almost impossible to pick against.
But who do you hope wins? I say.
Here's the odds, guys. Kansas City Chiefs minus 125, plus 105 on Philadelphia Eagles. I probably pick the Chiefs, Marcel. To be honest with you, they're kind of like an easy pick usually. But I mean, the Eagles are a great team. So, I'll tell you though, I did pick the Eagles 2 years ago when they lost. So hopefully I get it right this time. Side Collectibles, what's up, man? It was a good game for sure. Yeah, Joe, it was a good game. Congrats to your team. What's up, Antoine? Yeah, I know it was a close game, man. Lazy Bab, what's up? By the way, Antoine, my Toronto Raptors beat your Atlanta Hawks twice, man, the last week. What's going on with your team, brother? Tristan, what's up, man? Hughes Nurmagomedov was a hell of a fight. I mean, we could even start there, Marcel. Did you watch the fight?
Yeah, I did.
How'd you score it?
For me, it was either 3-2 or 4-1 for Usman, one of the two.
I had a 3-2, but with the point deduction, it was a draw. It was a close fight. I mean, I think it could have gone either way. Yeah, I mean,
saw Hughes winning, to be honest.
Yeah, I had a draw. I think that Hughes showed that he's one of the best guys, though. I definitely think
agree.
So. He didn't win, but I think he gave a good fight. He wants an immediate rematch. It doesn't look like he's going to get one. Usman wants him to go through the tournament first to get the rematch. I mean, maybe he'll have to. I think if Hughes does fight in the lightweight tournament in PFL, that he'll win the tournament, like I would imagine, right? I think AJ McKee would be in it. They did have a close fight. It was a split decision, but
yeah,
I think Hughes is very good. Usman, I think he's going to probably take a break for a little bit. By the way, they signed Alexander Romanov to PFL, so that's interesting. Yeah, Tristan, here's a comment. Usman and Umar aren't as good as Islam or Khabib. I mean, Islam and Khabib are like literally two of the best fighters of all time. I agree. I mean, I don't think Usman and Umar are there, but you're comparing them to like two of like probably the top, 20 fighters of all time. Probably something like that, Marcel. Like Islam to me is like the best fighter in the world right now. And Khabib is one of the best forever.
I mean, Umar lost a close decision to Merab with their championship, and Usman won a close decision against Paul Hughes, which was for a championship. So I mean, how can we? They're maybe not like. I mean, Khabib and Islam are obviously like Khabib is already one of the greatest in my opinion, and Islam is on his way there. In a couple of years we will call him also one of the greatest probably. So to say, I mean, and Umar and Usman are still, they're not too young, but they're not extremely old. They still can improve. So we'll see, man. But obviously they're not on the same level right now. Yeah.
Yep, I agree. Let's get some other comments. Excuse me. Justin, what's up, man? Hughes stock way up. Oh, I agree completely. I mean, again, I even tweeted yesterday. I actually got like all these people responding to my message. I just said like UFC made a mistake passing on this guy. I still believe that, but
I agree.
They lowballed him, right, with their offer.
They obviously did, because otherwise he would have went to the UFC probably.
Yeah.
And PFL saw the value in him, and PFL probably gave him a better contract. But the thing is, like, let's be really honest. I like watching PFL, but if you see this complete card, it's like, I mean, there are maybe like 4 or 5 names who I really, really care about, maybe not even, So the thing is, like, it's top heavy, but you want to see these guys fight the best of the best. And the thing is, like, Paul Hughes is probably in that division top 3. Usman is the number 1. I mean, what you get? You get like, how many times they got a match? 5 times or something? Or do you put them in the tournament? Yeah, they want to put them in the tournament where probably gets the win in the tournament, you know. So
Yeah.
it's like, man, I would have loved to see Paul Hughes in the UFC, and I still not. I don't know, man. There are so much things going on with PFL at the moment, where I hearing they're cutting fighters' pay in half, for example, without even talking to them. So that's what I'm hearing in the background. So yeah,
that's crazy. Yeah. Also, someone's asking about Nemkov. He's a free agent now.
Mm-hmm.
Does the UFC sign him? I know he wants. I think he wants to go to the UFC.
I mean, why not? But it depends again. What are they offering? I think they don't offer him 10+10 or something. They probably offer him a good amount.
No, they would offer him more for sure.
But it's like, what do you get normally and what do you get now? You know, it's important for these guys, man. A lot of people are like, yeah, then why wouldn't you fight for the UFC? You do it for the money. I mean, it's their job, you know. I mean, if you can work for, let's say the UFC is like the biggest restaurant where you can work, you know, and like PFL is not obviously, but PFL is McDonald's. I just say something, and McDonald's offers you 300,000 to work for them, and that highest next level restaurant offers you 100,000 to work for them. I mean, You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. All right, let me get some other comments here. I mean, I think we're all in agreement that he should, but he's going to be in PFL for a bit. Paul going to PFL was better for him. Maybe. I mean, it's not a bad thing to have some competition. Pato, what's up? PFL's stacked lightweight division. Usman, Hughes, Shabali, Colgan, Kelly, Barnaby, Rabadanov, Georgian do the beat Medeiros. Yeah, I mean, they got all these guys from Bellator. It was kind of weird they fought for the Bellator belt, but it was like the Bellator's dead and PFL, it was a PFL card. Very odd. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that belt is like, you know, that's the last defense of it.
It would kind of be like when the UFC merged with the WEC, and they're like, we're still calling your belt the WEC belt. They didn't do that. They obviously had just events outside, you know, but they didn't combine it. You know what I mean? It was like when WEC went gone, they just implemented in the UFC those lower weight classes, you know.
For sure. I ask about Nemkov. Yeah, I mean, I think him and Amosov should get interest. Amosov's also a guy that is a free agent. They should get interest because they're good fighters, but at the same time, like I watched Nolan King's interviews with both guys. They don't speak English. They're not. There's not much personality there. I mean, I don't know if the UFC really wants them. Honestly, they're both good fighters. Don't get me wrong. I'm not complaining about their fighting. They're more grappling based fighters, but I think that's fine. It's just I don't know if UFC really like. I don't know like for what you'd have to pay those guys more so. Like I don't know if it really moves the needle for the UFC. That's all I'm saying. You know, I'd like to see them in the UFC, but I don't know. I think they're going to be back with PFL. Is that would be huge? I mean, true. I mean, come on. We know that's going to happen. Of course. Stating the obvious, my friend. Where would you Houston rank? They'd probably be like top 15, I think. Like, I mean, there's some guys in the bottom end, the top 15, that aren't amazing. Like I like Jalen Turner, but he's not an amazing fighter. You know, Benoit Sandini's not amazing. I think they're beatable.
Who are you picking? Usman or Pimblett? Who you're picking? Pimblett or Hughes?
Probably Usman, right?
Hughes. Yeah, I mean,
yeah, and Pimblett too. I forgot about Pimblett. He's like bottom end of the top 15. UFC 155 is a bunch of old guys probably. I mean, I think they'd be ranked. You guys want to see Nemkov and Nagano? That seems like it would be next. Like, but they did sign Alexander Romanov. If Romanov wins the tournament, I mean, come on, man. King Kong versus the Predator.
To be really honest, man, I really like Francis Ngannou, but I lost a lot of interest when he left the UFC.
Yeah,
because they're just not. They're not like they try to pump up like Hernan Ferreira like he was.
I know
something special, you know.
Dude,
but
a lot of people are picking Herrera. A lot of people picked him. I don't really know why. I mean, I've made some bad picks too, but I don't really understand what I want at all. Antoine, do you think Vadim's a little heavy? He looked pretty big. He looked huge. He looked huge. I'll say that. Craig, what's up, man? Glad to have you here, my friend. What's up, Zach? Easier thing would be having as a Bellator title events than presenting a PFL title. I mean, I agree, but you know, PFL's not exactly geniuses. Then again, they're probably smarter than GFL, which we can talk about GFL really quick too before we do the preview. Good to catch you guys live. Hey, Matthew, glad to have you here too, man. We haven't seen you in a while. Glad to have you in the chat. Colostrum, I don't know what Dakota's going to fight in PFL. I don't know either. I guess Carmouche, that's the plan for her to fight in the finals. But like at the same time, I don't think PFL really cares. They need to keep her in, in the promotion. Give me 1 sec. Marcel, here, answer this question. There it is. Answer this one.
That's not next, but it would be a great fight for sure.
Yeah. Here we go. They run a promo now melting down the Bellator belt, unfortunately, PFL belt. That's something that GFL would do with AI. I think they would do that.
Protect your neck.
We'll talk about that. Francis fight, yeah. I mean, Francis costs a lot of money for sure. I don't know. I mean, Vadim's pretty good fighter though. He's solid. He's definitely good. And heavyweight's not the most strong division. If Dakota fought Macy, I'd probably pick Dakota.
Listen, Dakota has proved me wrong so many times already.
Same.
I want to see her in the UFC now because
she fucked up that girl, Talia Santos, man.
The easy way she won that fight, man. That kind of. I don't know if she's gonna go far in the UFC, but I definitely think she's top 5. A lot of people think she's maybe even the best fighter. I want to see it. Who can she fight in PFL? Liz Carmouche? Who else?
Yeah, I agree. You know what? I was thinking we should talk about GFL, but what I'm thinking now is we'll just hold it for the next. We'll do a fight announcements.
Yeah,
and we'll go through the teams on GFL. Is that better? You like
that?
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah.
Okay, I think so too. All right. Is this fight booked? Is this booked? I don't know. He's just saying this right here, or is this just a fight you want to see?
I think it's a fight he wants to see.
I want to see it too. That's why I asked. All right, let's get into the UFC Saudi Arabia, guys. I want to get into this card. It is, by the way, it's 4 a.m. or so for you?
For me, it starts at let me see, the prelim start 3
p.m. Right
now,
what time is it?
Right now. It's 4 a.m., man.
Well, I appreciate you doing this, man. Thank you.
No problem, dude.
All right, let's get into UFC Saudi Arabia, guys. I'll ask you. I always ask you, out of 10, what do you think of this card?
7, man. It's okay.
Yeah, okay. I think it's an 8. So I'm going to give you an extra. I'll give an extra bump on you. I like this card, man. I think it's solid. It did lose a fight. Ikram versus Muniz is off, right? So
a lot of people get a hard cock from this fight, but I'm like, it's a it's a fun card, but I'm not convinced. We'll see.
I think it's a good card, but yeah, I mean, we did, like I said, we lost Ikram and Andre Muniz. Is that rescheduled, or is they're going to reschedule?
They said it's going to rebook it, but I don't know for what card, dude. I mean, I got, what was it yesterday? I got like 4 DMs at the same time. Is that fight off? It's like I don't know. I haven't read anything about it. And then like 10 hours later, Muniz posted that video. So to these guys, like, where did you saw that? Yeah, it was just a rumor we read. It's like, okay, super odd, because I saw it nowhere until it went out.
Yeah, no, I saw your tweet. I think Guilherme Cruz from Fighting confirmed it. By the way, Guilherme, I like Guilherme. He's good.
Pereira. Yeah.
Pereira's got a opponent to pick with him, and Dana White went after him, I think it was a few months ago or last year maybe.
With the
Guilherme's a good guy. He's actually a very good reporter, I think. So one of the better.
I'm no trouble with him, so yeah.
Yeah, he's good. I like him. All right, let's get into the card, Marcel. We're gonna work our way from the bottom up as we always do, guys. UFC stats. Start with the first right here. Abdul-Kareem Al-Selwady against Bolaji Oki. Odds for this one. Pull it up here. -170 Oki, +142 Zelwady. Somehow Zelwady actually opened as the favorite and the line flipped. So clearly it flipped and a lot of money's coming in Oki based on what the opening odds were. What do you think, man?
It's a difficult fight, in my opinion, to pick, man. I think a lot of people will favor Oki in this one. But listen, Abdul-Kareem Al-Selwady, I think he looked good on the Contender Series, man, against Cage Warriors champion, where I now lost the name of the brother.
George Hardwick.
George Hardwick, exactly. He looked good against him, and it was a pretty big underdog, I remember, against him in that fight. Yeah. I think he did look good in his UFC debut in the round. I thought he came back, and then he lost to I'm drawing a complete blank who he lost to. He was the guy who also fought Ribovic. What's his name again?
Who was Al-Hooper?
No, Abdul-Kareem. Who did he lost to again?
Oh, it was Loic Radzhabov?
Yeah, Radzhabov. Yeah, he also fought Ribovic. Radzhabov. He came back in that fight. I thought it was even, but I didn't expect Radzhabov to have the cardio to come back, and he finished him. Bolaji Oki. Yeah, dude. I mean, had an okay debut against Kwamba. Had an opponent change 4 days before the fight. Was supposed to fight Hadzovic back then. Got the win, I think, by split. I think he clearly won 1 and 3 in that fight. He only lost the second round, but because of the grappling, And if you look at the last fight against Chris Duncan, I thought he looked really good on the feet, but for some reason he went for a takedown. He came in a guillotine. It was a really odd finish, man. The thing is, if Bolaji keeps it standing, he probably wants to fight. If Abdul-Kareem make sure he doesn't get hit and he can put in the wrestling, he can win the fight. So in my opinion, it's pretty close. Man, I'm going Oki, but it's with a thing like if you can keep it from the ground, and that would be difficult, I think. But going with Oki, but I wouldn't be surprised if Abdul-Kareem wins. I think it's a close fight.
Yeah, I think so too. Oki, man, he had that crazy knockout on Contender. I was so high on the
Yeah.
guy. I've been kind of disappointed by him so far in the UFC. Like the Kwamba fight, he won, but it wasn't super impressive. And then obviously gets submitted by Chris Duncan. So not super impressive so far. I do think the striking though is very good if you can keep it standing. But like you said, Al-Selwady also has got good striking. He did get knocked out in the last fight. I did pick Loic. I think Loic was an underdog in that fight. I think we both picked. I can't remember. I know I picked.
I think you pick Loic. You pick Loic. I pick Abdul.
Yeah, I know. I think it was pretty competitive, and then he knocked him out late in the fight. Yeah. You know what, man? I'm gonna go Oki too. Maybe he can knock him out potentially. I'm not 100% confident, guys, but that's my pick. I do think I'm pretty good though. Yeah, I have the same thoughts as you, Marcel, pretty much. Because I was pretty impressed by his fight with George Hardwick as well. That was a big win. He won every round. He looked good. He looked good against a good prospect. It's basically two guys that look good at Contender and haven't looked good in the UFC. That's basically what it is. So, yeah, I'll take Oki by either a knockout or decision, but not 100% confident. By the way, let's get some comments. Where is that? I missed one. Here he is. Remove the limit breaks here. Glad to have you here too, man. Oki needs to make a statement. I agree. Oh, here we go, Marcel. Right behind you. Share a bullet looking at you with the one eye from over Marcel's shoulder. Is that the eye you can see out of, or the fake one?
The left one for you. It's the one where it doesn't. I think it's right eye. Is how do you say that? It has problems with his right eye. Yeah.
Glass.
Yeah.
What's up, Gary? Oki was winning the Duncan fight. Shot for taking on Kaan in the sub. His opponent terrible. I mean, I do. Hey, Gary. First off, and I agree that he was looking good against Duncan before he got caught in that sub. But I don't think Abdul-Kareem Al-Zawadi's terrible though, right? No. I don't think so. I think he's okay. I think it's a pretty close fight, man. Like I think that Oki should be favored. I think that if you got plus money, because the books opened the fight the other way, I think if you got plus money on Oki, you made a good bet. But
I mean, George Hardwick ain't terrible, and he lost to Abdul-Kareem. So, and I think Abdul-Kareem was pretty decent, man. So
here's Gary's bet. He took Chiefs money line and Oki for plus 199. I mean, those are good odds for sure.
Good, so. Yeah, I think so.
All right, let's go to the next fight here, guys. We got the return of Hamdy Abdelwahab taking on Jamal Pogues, the Stormtrooper. Marcel, odds for this one even -110 each. True pick 'em fight. Marcel, I'm gonna let you start, man. What do you think?
Yeah, starting with Don King's son, Jamal Pogues. Yeah, man. The thing with Jamal Pogues, that dude is so not impressive, you know what I mean? But he gets it done a lot of times, he gets the job done. Against Thomas Petersen, he gets it done. Against Josh Parisian, he got it done against Paulo Ronaldo in a really boring ass fight, but he got the contract, so good for him. Only lost to Mick Parkin, but that's not that's not too bad, that can happen. Hamdy hasn't fought since the summer of 2022, so he got I think he got multiple USADA things,
I'm telling you right now, he's been suspended. Yeah, I think twice
actually. Yeah. So and he got a very controversial win over Dontel Mays. I remember was super close. Was a horrible fight. Yeah, I mean, I gotta go Pogues here. It's very easy. I haven't seen Hamdy fight since 2022, and I wasn't impressed back then. He got the win back then, got overturned to a no contest. I gotta go Pogues, man. Pogues is more active. And I think he can at least win 2 out of 3 rounds. He just has to make sure that Hamdy doesn't hit him in the first round. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what you guys think about this one in the chat. Give me your thoughts. True, I want to know what you think, because I know you did some super tape study on this one, man, like you always do. So, yeah, I mean, the 3-year layoff, basically. I mean, that's a concern. I never thought Hamdy was that great anyways. Like, the fight with Dontel Mays was not super impressive. He did win, but it wasn't that impressive. I mean, you look at who he beat before, it's like a bunch of scrubs. Terrible fighters. It was. But he does have that wrestling background, right? So that's always something to think about. Here's the thing, though. Like, Pogues, it's pretty good defensively. I mean, Thomas Petersen couldn't take him down. And his boxing's pretty good. Like, I kind of agree with what you're saying. Like, he doesn't look impressive. There's nothing really super flashy about his game, but he gets the job done. I like Pogues here too, man, to be honest with you. I like him here. I think Pogues wins this fight, and I think he wins the decision probably. I like Pogues, Marcel, too. So we have the same pick in this one, but I think he wins. And you know what? that layoff, I think, is such a concern too, you know? So, what do you think, knockout or decision?
Going with a decision. Pogues normally wins by decision, so going by decision. By a grueling 3-round decision. And after that, nobody has any fuel anymore to watch the next fights, probably. But yeah,
probably not. I mean, at least they're getting this out of the way quickly. By the way, our boy Fight Talk only just sent the artwork over, so I wanted to give him a shout out.
Nice.
He just sent it. Let me change my background here. Where is that? There it is. I got the new background going. There we go. All right, boys. We're locked and loaded. There we go.
Ooh.
Let's go. I just gotta fix the website. I posted it without the artwork. There we go. All
How
right.
dare you?
I know. It's my bad. Wait, how do I fix this? Okay, here we go. I'm just putting it on YouTube as well. 1 sec, guys. All right. Cool. All right, let's go to the next fight. We got Bogdan Grad taking on Lucas Alexander. Odds for this one, Grad minus 120, Alexander plus 100. So really close odds on this one too. I think Grad open is a bigger favorite. Lines come down. What do you think about this one?
Yeah, man. I mean, probably competitive fight. You know, if you look at Bogdan Grad, contender series in 2023, got knocked out in the first round, fought his way back to a new shot in the contender series, fought Mike Aswell. Fun fight. I thought Aswell won the fight, but Bogdan got it, and Bogdan got signed. And Aswell has to fight in Fury FC now, which I think fucking sucks. I think he deserves to be in the UFC. If you look at Lucas Alexander, came in on short notice in the UFC, lost to Joanna Brito, got a good win over Steven Petersen, and really got a surprising loss, in my opinion, to Jeka Saragi, where he was a massive favorite, I remember. Honestly, man, Lucas Alexander, I think he's been training hard with like Mike Davis and Terrance McKinney, who are also on this card, you know. And I haven't been really impressed by Bogdan, man, to be really honest. I think he fights hard. He fights Leonard Garcia-esque, you know what I mean? Like going straight forward and trying to knock your head off, but it's not like super special in my opinion. Can he win? Definitely. I'm picking Lucas Alexander, so I'm going with my first dog here of the night.
There you go. Also with the dog pick there. There we go.
Yeah, I mean, even with getting knocked out by Jeka Saragi, which was really surprising to me, I think Lucas Alexander can keep it a little bit. How do you say that? Technical, and I think he knows he has to win here. So I'm picking Lucas Alexander. I think he wins, but man, tough pick.
Yeah, it opened at minus 200 for Bogdan Grad, so that line went down a lot, obviously. And the other fight was Abdul-Kareem Al-Selwady was minus 250 at open. That line flipped, and I think that was a bad line. This one, this is a tough fight to call, I think, man, honestly. Like, I'm not super high on either guy, quite frankly. Grad, like, I wasn't even sure if he won that fight, to be honest with you, Marcel. I think I scored it for Aswell. I can't remember now, but I think I scored it for Aswell. And then the other fight, he got destroyed by Tom Nolan, who's not that great, I don't think. He has power, though. And then with Alexander, like, it's kind of weird, right? He loses to Brito, no shame in that. Beat Steven Petersen, who I think retired after that fight, if I'm not mistaken. Let me check. Yeah, he retired after that fight. So he beat a guy that was aging, and then he got knocked out by Jeka Saragi, man. That's just like bad, you know? That's just so bad. So I don't know if I can trust this guy. 8-4 record's not good. I don't think I can trust him, man. I mean, I don't trust either guy, quite frankly.
The problem is either like just a fluke, you know, which can happen, or it's just legit. You know, obviously it's legit because it happened, but you know what I mean. Yeah,
no, I agree. I don't have a great read on it. I'll take Grad decision, I guess, probably. But, I mean, I don't feel good about this one either way, and you might be right. So, by the way, Antoine, I think that Aswell should be in the UFC. If I'm not mistaken, he's being drug tested. Isn't he in the drug pool or something? Is that...
I don't know, man. I only saw that he recently won a Fury, but I think it's just weird, you know, because the UFC pretty much told him, like, if we need a short notice call up, we will call you, and they need one, but they haven't called him, you know. So weird.
He should be in the UFC. I think he's better than Bogdan Grad, and Grad's in the UFC. So yeah, I mean he'll probably be in eventually. But yeah, I think so, Antoine, for sure. All right, let's go to the next fight here, guys. Here's an interesting fight, man. I'm looking forward to hearing your thoughts on this one because we got my girl here, Jasmine Jasudavicius, taking on Mayra Bueno Silva at flyweight. So Bueno Silva moving back down in weight after a bantamweight run where she fought for the belt and then got doctor stoppage cut in the last fight, lost by TKO. Did Macy Chasson, so she lost 2 straight fights, taking on Jasmine, who's won, I think, 4 straight fights. Yeah, 3 straight fights, 5 of 6. Odds for this one, Jasmine minus 225, Mayra plus 185. I'm definitely taking Jasmine here, Marcel, for sure. I mean, I love her. You know, I think she's great. just a phenomenal ground game, really strong wrestler, great, like just huge. Like she's just huge for the weight class too. Obviously, Bueno Silva's fought a bigger weight class. Moving down, I think Jasmine's still going to be the bigger girl. I think physically she'll be strong. Bueno Silva, what's her takedown defense? It's not good. Let me check. 66%, terrible. Really, well, I shouldn't say terrible. I mean, it's bad though. It's really bad. And that's how she loses. I mean, I was there with the Pennington fight, Marcel, just getting held down. How much control time did Pennington have? 11 minutes. I can see Jasmine having like 2 or 3 minutes of control in each of these rounds in this fight and having like 9 or 10 minutes of control time overall in this fight. Against the Silva, she had 5 minutes of control time and then submitted her. Against Fatima, she had 8 minutes of control time. Against Priscilla, she had 11 minutes of control time. We know how Jasmine fights. If she can't get takedowns, the fight stays in the feet, she'll be in trouble because her striking is not great. I think she can get takedowns. I think she can control this fight in the ground. I don't know if it's going to be an exciting fight, but I think she can control Bueno Silva in the ground. I've seen Bueno Silva get taken down so many times in her career, man, and I don't trust her here. So she had a nice run. She fought for the belt, much respect, but I think she gets grinded out here and she loses the decision. And Jasmine, I mean, if she gets this win, it's a big win over a former title contender and probably gets, a top 5 opponent maybe. So I'll take Jasmine by decision. I think she wins. What do you think, Ben?
Yeah, I think Jasmine is underrated, man. I think she has looked good as of lately. She only lost twice in the UFC to Tracy Cortez and my future wife, Natalia.
And the Tracy fight really quick, Marcel, not to cut you off, but like that fight was pretty close, guys. Like I thought she lost a close decision, but it wasn't a blowout. And to be honest with you guys, if they rematch like next week, I would pick Jasmine in the rematch. I would. I wouldn't pick Tracy in that fight. I don't know about you, but I wouldn't.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I only wouldn't pick her against Natalia.
I think I did pick her against Natalia because I know how good Natalia was. Natalia was a huge underdog. Yeah, she was a huge underdog. That fight and looked amazing. So, anyways,
I think Natalia also came from a broken arm, I think. But I'm not sure. Yeah, I mean, Mayra Bueno Silva, she's decent, but I never really saw like something next level, in her for some reason. And I remember we both picked Pennington to beat her, beginning last year. I think Mayra Bueno has like she has like a specialty with that ninja choke, right? Yep. She has that pretty often. That's done. But I don't know, man. I mean, also against Jason, she had bad luck with the cut, obviously, but still, man, I don't think she looked that great. Overall decent fighter, but I think Jasudavicius should be able to at least win 3 rounds against her, man. At least win 2 of the 3 rounds. I think she win probably all 3 rounds. She has to mix in the grappling. And the thing is, like, Mayra gets some submissions, but she's not always winning the grappling exchanges. You know what I mean? So it's not like she's specialist in certain stuff, but she doesn't always win the grappling exchanges. I think she's the most, the most, how do you say that? The most... in the first round, she's the most dangerous. Mayra, obviously. As long as the fight goes, I favor Jasmine. I think Jasmine wins the decision. I'm with you there. So, yeah.
Yeah, we have the same pick there. By the way, a couple comments. Tristan, Bueno Bruce has such a crazy vibe to her. Did you see the pictures with her and what's her girlfriend, Gloria DePaula? Is that her name?
Yeah.
Did you see the pictures, Tristan? They're on the OnlyFans. They've been leaked on the internet. You saw the pictures, Marcel.
Yeah, I saw them. They're leaked. Yeah.
They're crazy, dude. You gotta check them out, Tristan. Honestly, they're wild, bro. You probably like them, Tristan. Honestly, like they're kind of, I mean, they're not into guys, but it's kind of hot still. I don't know, Marcel. They put it out there, man. They put it out there, dude. You know what I mean?
It's close to scissoring. Let's put it that way. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I like that about Jasmine too. She does stick to the plan, Marcel. Like she knows what she has to do and does what she has to do. Not a Jasmine fan. No, I don't like her. Did you guys see the video of Tracy praising Eileen Perez in the elevator? Yeah, it's kind of lame. It's just for clout. I don't know. It's lame. I don't know, man. I mean, and they're both in different, divisions. I would pick Perez if they fought too.
To be really honest, man, and no disrespect, but if Tracy didn't have so much Sims behind her, nobody would care,
Probably not. So, she's not the most exciting fighter, honestly. Like, but yeah, I mean, she's attractive. So there you go. All right, let's go to the next fight here, guys. This is an interesting one too. I like this fight a lot. You got Faris Ziam taking on Mike Davis, he doesn't fight that often, but fuck, man, when he does fight, he's definitely good. So the odds for this one, Mike Davis is -148, Faris Ziam +124, Smile Killer.
They should put this on the main card, man. Or
I think so. It might move up because we did lose the other fight. I think this one should be a little higher too. 100%. I could also see them putting Jasmine higher too. I could potentially,
or McKinney because of the possibility of a knockout.
Yeah, we'll see. One of those 3 fights probably moves up. Hopefully not Hamdy and Jamal. Hopefully
Gaziev and Petersen.
Oh, watch them put a shitty heavyweight fight on the main card. I'll start on this one. I like Mike Davis in this fight. I think he wins, man. I like Fair Ziam. He's a good fighter, guys, but I have to go with Mike Davis. And I'll tell you why, because he's more well-rounded. Not only is he a good striker, we've seen him get some crazy knockouts, obviously, but his ground game is really good. We saw against Vicious Borshev, 9 takedowns in that fight. It was really impressive. Tom Levy gets the submission. Mason Jones took him down when he had to. And then obviously Thomas Gifford, he pretty much, I don't want to say he murdered him, but it was pretty bad. It was horrible. He lost to Glover Burns. That was it was 6 years ago. He doesn't fight that often. That's the problem, right? He's got 5 fights in like 6 years. So when he fights, though, he's a beast. I mean, I like Ziam too. Don't get me wrong. 4-fight win streak looked really good. Amazing knockout here against Matt Frevola in this last fight. But here's the thing: like, I still think the takedown defense is questionable. 67%. It's not good. Jamie Malarkey took him down a bunch of times. Claudio Puelles took him down a bunch of times. I think Matt Frevola just didn't fight a smart fight in the last fight. He didn't really pursue grappling heavy game plan. I think that's how you beat this guy. On the feet, he's dangerous. He's long, he's lanky, he's got power. I think the path to beat him is to take him down. I think Mike Davis will fight smart here. I think that, he'll try to fool him into thinking he's going to box with him, and he's going to take him down and grind him out. I really like Mike Davis in this fight. Minus 148, I love it. I'm taking Mike Davis all the way, man. What do you think?
Bro, give me Mike fucking Davis all day,
Yeah.
I love Mike Davis. He's must-watch TV, Yep. Even when the fight goes to decision, he always in good fights. I like his style. I think his grappling is good. His striking is good. It's super crisp to watch. Big fan of Mike Davis, man. And listen, Fares Ziam has looked good since his comeback, in the UFC. He got cut since he won 4. Great knockout over Matt Frevola. Mike Davis all day still, dude. I think he's a much more complete fighter. I think Fares definitely has a chance because I think he leveled up. But, man, I hope Mike Davis can stay active because I really think that he can get in the top 15. I think he's really good.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think he's very good, too. But let me get some comments, guys. All right. What's up, brother? Chris Kushman. What's going on, man? You like Davis, too? Yeah. I wish he was more active, too. But, when he fights, he's impressive. I guess Tristan just saw the pictures of Gloria and Mayra riled, Tristan? Davis he's good. Agree on Davis with all the money coming in Ziam. I think people think he's good. He's a good striker. He's a solid fighter.
Ziam is more. I think also nothing against casual fans, but I think Ziam is more known. Definitely has that highlight knockout. In how do you say that against Frevola last time in Paris? And that was on the main card, so he's fresh in the memory. And Mike Davis doesn't fight too often, and that's part of the problem.
He is still the favorite though, but yeah, I agree with what you're saying as far as like why the line would be close. So and Antoine likes Ziam. There you go. I appreciate the sub, man. Thank you, dude. Yeah, if you guys can sub, that'd be. Most of you guys already subbed. Give it like, share podcast, tell your friends about it. Davis comes out recently, say only fights, he's good at it. How do you guys feel about that? It's his job. That's what it is. Like, I think a lot of people forget that. Like, it's their job, so he's good at his job, basically what it comes down to. Remember Davis calling for retirement home after his last fight. Did he? I can't remember who he called out, but I still think he can win this fight, but I can't remember who he called out, man. Maybe he did call out those older guys, probably to build the name off them.
Yeah.
By the way, Clay Guida was released recently, so it's worth mentioning. What's up, Garrett? Glad to have you here, man. It's always talking about Eddie Alvarez. Yeah, that wasn't good. He got knocked out by Jeremy Stevens. I don't know if you saw that, Marcel. It was a quarter stoppage. You don't watch
big UFC fan. No.
Ben Rothwell also won his fight by knockout. So there you go.
Know.
All right, let's go to the next fight, guys. We have this is a fun one as long as it lasts. Terrance McKinney against Damir Hadzovic. On to this one, Terrance minus 360, Damir plus 285. I got to be honest, when I saw this fight, I was like, wait, Damir's still in the UFC? I actually thought he was released because he hasn't fought in, let me check. He hasn't fought in 3 years as well. Basically the same as Hamdy. Like, I thought he was released. I really did. And I'm like, oh, they re-signed him to fight Terrance? It's kind of odd. Yeah, listen, like, Terrance he's basically first rounder bust. Like, let's be honest, guys. I think he can knock out Damir and send him packing for good from the UFC or submit him, either one. I think he probably knocks him out. Terrance has got a lot of motivation right now. He tweeted about it, today actually. He was talking about how, he's got 2 kids now. He's taking this even more seriously than he ever has. I hope he is. I really do, because I think Terrance is like very talented. Marcel, very, very talented. Just doesn't fight the smartest too, right? That's the problem. But Damir is just a beatable guy, I think. I don't think Damir's that good. I mean, Damir could win this fight if he basically has to survive the first round and then like grind out the fight. That's how he would win. I don't think he'd finish Terrance, to be honest with you. I don't think Terrance has actually even gone the distance before, but I think Damir would just grind him out, make it boring. It's possible, but I doubt it. I just think Terrance is going to knock him out or drop him and tap him out and send Damir packing from the UFC for good. Terrance, way more explosive. Terrance, far younger fighter, bigger fighter, more powerful, more dangerous. I'm taking Terrance for sure. I'm not going to overthink this one. Terrance by stoppage, first round.
Yeah, man. I mean, Terrance is a legit good dude. A lot of people always give him a lot of hate online, but dude is legit a good guy. So, I mean, I don't know. I never know why they do that. He's just very, how do you say that? Very confident in what he does, But yeah, he got knocked out in some fights. He's fighting Hadzovic. The thing is with Hadzovic is like he hasn't fought for a long time. Last time was in London against Casey. Casey is also not in the UFC anymore now. And the thing is with Damir, I like Damir, but I feel like he has no advantage over Terrance in this fight, in my opinion.
Probably the cardio.
Probably cardio, maybe. Yeah. But I don't see it going that far, you know what I mean? So I think Terrance can either submit or knock him out. It can be a club and sub or it can be a knockout.
I agree.
So one of the two, and I think it will probably in the first round. Like most Terrance fights go quick, I think this fight, listen, I have all respect for Damir Hadzovic, also a very good guy, but I think this fight is pretty much made for Terrance to look good, And
it's crazy how Terrance has never won a bonus, by the way. He has so many quick finishes and never got a bonus. Like he's fought a lot of guys that aren't great, but he knocked him out for ball in 7 seconds. He could have got a bonus for that one, or when he submitted Ziam in 2 minutes. Which Ziam is probably his best win when you look back at it, Marcel. When you think about it. Yeah. Probably Ziam.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I think if you pick Hadzovic, you have to go by decision probably, but I wouldn't go.
Maybe he just finishes him late, if anything. Maybe this fight just doesn't go this distance ever. But again, Hadzovic doesn't have a lot of power either, right? Damir's 38. Yeah, he's an older guy. When's the last time Terrance has been out of the first round? I just looked at it. It was 4 fights against Nazim Sadikov where I think he dominated the first round, right? And then he got tired, and that's what happens with him. Like it happens a lot. Shout out to Marcel breaking the biggest fight news of the year, and we're going to talk about the fight announcement show. Okay, well we'll talk about it then. Let's go to the next fight here. Do you guys get a chance to watch the news story in his life? Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that. Yeah. All right, let's go to the next fight here, guys. We got Marcel's favorite fighter in the UFC, Shamil Gaziev, taking on Thomas Jefferson Petersen.
We have the same belt, That's probably
of course.
Why,
That should be his nickname. Shamil's a huge favorite here. Minus 380, plus 300 on Thomas Petersen. I mean, the odds are a little bit high, though, I think. Thomas Petersen is not a bum. He's coming off a pretty good win over Muhammad Usman. I mean, Muhammad Usman's not a great fighter, but it was a good performance, I think, where he showed off improved striking. The problem is, will he take Shamil down? Probably not. And on the feet, he probably is the better striker. It's just, I don't know, man. I still don't trust Shamil's cardio completely, to be honest with you, Marcel. I still think he gets tired. I think the odds are a little off here, guys. Minus 380, he probably wins, especially where the fight is. You think the judges would give him at least these 2 rounds. It's just, will he get tired against Rosenstrike where he gassed out after 5 minutes? I don't know. I'll take Shamil to win a decision. I just don't love the odds here. Minus 380, I think it's pretty high. I think Petersen he's okay. He's not great. He could win a decision, though, I think, potentially. I doubt it, though. But, yeah. What do you think, man?
Yeah, man. Thomas Jefferson. Petersen, I know.
What do you think of these odds, though? Minus 380? It seems high.
It's too much. It's too much in my opinion. I see it more like a pretty close fight, because that's because of Gaziev's cardio. I'm going Gaziev here, but I'm not sure, man. I mean, it's like I also don't know why the fuck this is the feature prelim. I would put this. I would put Mike Davis in the feature prelim as far as Ziam if you don't put it on the main card, But I picked Gaziev, but man, I'm not surprised if Petersen gets it done. I mean, we've seen Gaziev fade before. I mean, what can you say about low-level heavyweight? But we're going with Gaziev here. Decision.
Is Shamil ranked? He might be ranked.
I think
right?
he's 13 or 14, right?
God, that just shows you how bad the division is. Really, let me check right now. He's number 14. So, yeah, the division's terrible. All right. Like MMA, what's up, man? Glad to have you here, dude.
Why do you think so many light heavyweights are going to heavyweight now?
I know. The winner of the fight gets a bucket of KFC. Man, I'll take a bucket of KFC. Do they have that there? They
have it, yeah. But I almost never order it because I don't really like the quality.
It's not that. It used to be a lot better, I think. I don't think it's that great anymore either. Petersen round 3 potentially. I mean, I'm just passing completely, but he's got a chance if the fight goes late, if he gets extended. Minnesota guys are tough. Shamil decision. Yeah, I mean, Peterson's pretty tough, I think. Gary background, his striking is not great, but it's improving. What are you gonna say?
Gary sees Gaziev repeat, right? Sprinkle Petersen.
He got cut, right? Is that true though? He got cut, the Gaziev guy.
I don't know, man. I mean, he was 1-1, right?
Yeah,
and
weird,
he is
right?
on the roster, so probably. I mean, that performance was horrible, man.
It was bad.
To be really honest, also his debut wasn't great.
Yeah, no, I actually I was kind of like okay, this makes sense. Even though like it's only 2 fights, it seems like their leash is shorter now with the guys. Marcel from Contender, like if you have 2 bad fights, you're gone. So all right, let's go to the next fight here, guys. We have Muhammad Naimov taking on Kaan Ofli, and the odds for this one: Naimov minus 258, Ofli plus 210. Yeah, I mean, I'm taking Naimov. Obviously coming off a tough loss against Felipe Lima. But you know what? Like, it was actually a competitive fight, Marcel. I think all the judges had it split basically going into the last round before the finish. When you think back at it, I mean, Felipe Lima is fucking great. So, like, it's not a bad loss. And before that, he looked pretty awesome. And, he knocked out Malarkey. He beat Daniel Wood. He beat Eric Silva. Not that Eric Silva, the other Eric Silva. Not the guy that used to fight 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Who was really good back then. But, yeah, I mean, like, I think he's solid. And then Ofli, like, coming off a brutal knockout loss against Mayra Santos. It's kind of an odd fight, I think, a little bit. To be honest with you, I'm surprised by the matchmaking here. To me, it sure seems like they're trying to get Naimov like a real, like, nice win in front of probably some partisan fans for him. I think Naimov finishes this fight. I'm going Naimov by stoppage. What do you think, man?
Yeah, I cannot go Ofli here. I think Ofli is decent, but I'm definitely going Naimov. I thought Naimov was looking good against Lima, man, and in the 3rd round, Lima got like on him and choked him the fuck out. So Naimov. I know a lot of people don't like Naimov because of the Nathaniel Wood fight, right?
Yeah.
A lot of cage
defense, I think, right?
Yeah. But still, he got the win there. So, I mean, I think he's very decent.
Yeah.
I got him. I'm picking him by decision, not by finish.
Okay, I think he finishes the fight. All right, couple comments. Whenever they saw give Shamil the main event, they always want heavyweights. Like, I think if this Rizvan Kuniev guy beats Curtis Blades, like, he's going to be getting, a number contender fight. Like, they're just desperate for new contenders, Marcel. Dana didn't like the Magomed guy, gave a contract because Shelby wanted him. Magomed Shulov, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. Same with Josephine Knudsen too. Dana didn't like her either. Remember?
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
We didn't talk about her, but she got caught. And she's definitely caught 100%. She's on the GFL roster. She actually is on the GFL roster, not one of these fighters that is like, what the fuck? Like Timur Valiant and Rashad Evans and all these guys. Hey, I'm not signed to you. Wait, what the hell is going on?
It's super weird.
All right. We're going to talk about this fight next, man. I mean, this is going to be a good fight. So here's, by the way, so Alex Garov and Muniz were supposed to happen next. That fight's canceled. Marcel's confirmed that, right? That fight's off.
100%.
So let's go to the next fight here, guys. And I think this is my favorite fight in the card. Said Nurmagomedov against Vinicius, Lockdog Oliveira. I love this fight. Odds for this one have minus 198 Said, plus 164 Vinicius Oliveira. Hit the button for me. I told you guys a few weeks ago, I hate giving out picks beforehand, but we looked at this fight and I was like, yeah, I'm going to go with this guy. And I was curious what the odds were. I don't think at the time there were odds. He's the dog. I'm going with the lock dog. I'm taking the dog here, Marcel. I'm very high on this guy. I think he's super, super dangerous. He's coming off a great win over Ricky Simone. I called him as an underdog in that fight. He was like plus 200. I made a nice bet on him in that fight, and I was happy he came through. He looked phenomenal. His striking was incredible. His takedown defense was impeccable. It was such a good performance. I was so impressed. And then before that, obviously, Bernardo Sapai, knockout of the year in 2024, arguably. The guy's phenomenal. And obviously the win on a contender, we had that crazy knockout over Victor Madrigal. I think he's really good, man. I think he's solid. Obviously, he didn't fight a perfect fight against Bernardo Sopai, but he still got the crazy high row finish. And Bernardo Sopai is a very good young prospect. You look at Lock Dog, out of his 21 wins, 16 by knockout, 18 by stoppage overall. He has been knocked out 3 times, so that's always a concern. I've watched this fight. He can get clipped. There's no doubt. I don't think this is the fight where he gets clipped. Like, Saeed's a pretty good striker. I think he's more of a guy that will try to take you down and grapple with you if he can in this fight. I think he would try to get the fight to the ground. I think he'll struggle to. I think it could look like the Jonathan Martinez fight where Martinez lands the better shots. Like, it's a competitive fight, but he lands better shots. But I also feel like potentially Lockdog could get the knockout too. But yeah, I like him here, Marcel. Decision or knockout. I like him to win this fight. I think he gets the job done. Plus 164. I'm taking a dog. I really like him. And if he wins this fight, I'd imagine the UFC would like try to really push him in the top 10 of 135. So I'm going with him, man. What do you think, dude?
It's a great fight, man. I really like it. I like Vinicius a lot, but I'm not as convinced as you are.
Okay.
I think his ground game is not on the level yet. You know, I think his striking is great to watch. Saeed, much more complete fighter, in my opinion. If Saeed gets him to the ground, and I think he will, eventually, I think he easily wins the fight on the ground. You know, if it keeps standing, Vinicius has every moment to knock him out or whatever, you know. Although Saeed's is good striking as well. But yeah, I'm completely going against you in this one. I'm going with Saeed.
You also, to be fair, you also went against me when I picked him against Ricky Simone.
100%.
He was going to win that fight. Yeah. And
100%.
Ricky went 2 for 11 with takedowns, 31 seconds of control time. So I get what you're saying, especially because that fight with Sapai, he did get controlled a bit in the ground and got taken down. But I also feel like he's the guy who's making super improvements. That being said, you're allowed to have your own pick, and we're going to disagree, and I don't mind disagreeing because I think it's good for the show, especially on a fight like this where I'm super convinced on one side and you are on the other side. I think that's actually a good thing for the podcast. So
I mean, I picked Ricky. Ricky looked like a fucking old man in the fight, but maybe that's also like a complimentary to Vinicius Oliveira.
We'll see. I mean, this is a harder fight. Saeed's more well-rounded fighter.
Yeah.
Saeed's very good, so I think it's a good fight.
To be really honest, man, for me, Saeed shouldn't have lost to Martinez, in my opinion. I thought he won that fight. You know,
close.
So I don't see any, like, how do you say that? The only fight where I really saw Saeed struggling was against Sadyokub Kakramanov, where he
also lost to Barcelos too.
Like, I know, but it was close in my opinion. You know, but Kakramanov was really.
Oh yeah. Sadyokub, he was beating him, and then he got caught in that choke. Yeah. And then he got released. Yeah, he got released after that. It was crazy. Remember that, right?
Yeah.
Kakramanov got kind of screwed by the UFC, I think. Like, I don't know what happened. He must be a pain in the ass to deal with or something.
Yeah, I've heard some things, but yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But I'm picking Saeed here. I think he wins the fight.
Is this your fight of the night pick? This one?
I think Mike Davis versus Ziam has a good shot.
Okay, yeah. I think either one of those, but I really like this fight, man. I love this fight.
Well,
Let me get some comments, by the way.
Even the co-main event is possible, you know.
Yeah. We'll talk about that. We're gonna talk about that in a second here. Saeed by points or something. What's up, man? Yeah, fair enough. You're on Marcel's side. Lazy Bed's on my side. Another Saeed pick. Fight and MVP could be the best fight. Yeah. We talk about that. Saeed's so cool. Watching his flowing. I feel the same way about Vinicius Oliveira too, man. I really do. Yeah, I like this fight. Saeed, when was the last time you fought? You're saying a layoff? I forgot about that.
Last year in Abu Dhabi.
2 years ago, yeah, almost. So somewhat, but not as much as like Hamdy or
against Muin was actually a good win. And if you look at back at it now, you know.
Yeah, Muin, especially after they beat Rini Nakamura. It sucks. Saeed's cracked 30. He's not top 15. The bantamweight division stacked, dude. I mean, I was like, I did look at the rankings when I was looking at this fight, and I was like, wow, how is he not ranked? But yeah, it's a banger. Fight of the night for sure. Zach Scroggins treatment. Well, he had 3 fights. Zach had 1. He missed weight and got cut.
Yeah, he missed weight. That was a problem, I think.
Yeah. All right. Let me put this guy in a timeout. Some of the comments are a little bit weird. I don't know if you guys saw them. They're a little bit weird. So, talking about dogs and licking dogs, kind of weird, man. Let's go to the next fight here, guys. Sergey Pavlovich taking on Jairzinho Rozenstruik. -305 Sergey, +245 Jairzinho Rozenstruik. Good fight. Like the fight. Good matchup. I mean, Jairzinho can't. It's like the other fight. It's like the Shamil and Petersen fight. Like, I think the dog has a chance in this heavyweight fight. I do think that dog has a chance.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like I think Pavlovich can actually knock him out. We've seen Jairzinho get knocked out by a faster striker with Francis, and even with Volkov too. He's been KO'd and he's been blitzed early, and I think that's what Pavlovich does. Like he blitzes you early. I picked Volkov against Pavlovich and picked Aspinall, so I've been pretty good at picking his fights. I think I've got Pavlovich's whole career correct. I think I've got every fight of his right so far. So I'm very good at picking his. Actually, maybe I got the Blades one wrong. Can't remember now. But
and the Overeem one.
No, I got that one right. I picked Overeem. I was all over him.
Kind of sounds weird, but okay.
Yeah, it was 7 years ago now. But I remember, like, I was like, this guy hasn't really fought too many great opponents. Overeem's still a stud, so I loved Overeem in that spot. But anyways, yeah, I think Pavlovich probably knocks him out. I don't love the odds again. I don't love laying juice on heavyweight fights because one punch can end it. But I'm taking Pavlovich. I'll take him my first round KO. What do you think, man?
Yeah, I kind of struggle with this pick, man, because Pavlovich, no disrespect, kind of look like shit, man, against Volkov, you know. I think
also Volkov's very good too, though.
Yeah, true. But Rosenstruck is more technical. It's much more technical than Pavlovich, in my opinion. You know. At the same time, I think Pavlovich has more knockout power. Maybe not. Rosenstruck has also knockout power, but I think Pavlovich hits harder and is quicker. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
it's either gonna be Rosenstruck by decision, how crazy that sounds, or Pavlovich by knockout first round, TKO. I'm going with Pavlovich, but I'm not as sure as I was that Pavlovich was going to beat Volkov. So I'm going with, and that's crazy actually. But yeah, I'm going with Pavlovich.
I mean, Jairzinho's a good fighter, and I think Antoine, a question. Like, I think technique-wise, I think Jairzinho is the better striker. But it's MMA and 4-ounce gloves, he can get clipped and knocked out. And I just feel like he clips Jairzinho here, so I'm going to go Pavlovich. The same pick. Pato thinks he's going to get title potential. I mean, maybe, but he's still behind, Kaan. He's behind Volkov. He's behind Jones and Aspinall. Like, I think he's still far away, man.
He clipped Aspinall, but I mean, at the same time, he got knocked out by Aspinall, and then he lost to Volkov. I think even with a win over Rosenstruck, he maybe gets somebody like
probably fight Jailton Almeida, I would think.
Maybe
right?
Cyril Gane or Jailton Almeida, yeah, somebody like that, But he's not at a title shot yet. He needs one more, definitely,
Yeah, were they training partners? I think they were. They did train together, yeah, right? Didn't they? I think they've talked about it. I could be wrong.
I think they did, yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's go to the next fight here, guys. Co-main event. Fun fight here in the UFC middleweight division. Michael Page moving up to 185. Take on Shara Bullet, Nurmagomedov. Odds for this one. Shara Bullet minus 192, Michael Page plus 160. And the odds actually opened. Michael Page is the favorite, so the odds flipped. And I mean, I think that they got it wrong too. Like, I don't agree with that, with the opening odds, with Page being favored. Not to say you can't win this fight, because I think that, it's going to be a striking battle, and Page is very, very tricky on the feet, as we know. At the same time, though, man, like Shara Bullet, I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of the guy. I don't think he's amazing. I think he's a little overrated for sure, but he's definitely a good striker with power. And I feel like, Page is also getting up there in age. He's almost 40 years old now. He's 30. He's going to be 38 in a few months. We've seen him get knocked out before. Shara Bullet's got a lot of power. Shara's going to be, I think, the fast. Well, I don't know if he'll be faster. We'll see. I think this will be more powerful. Michael Page might be faster, especially at middleweight, now that I think about it. But, yeah, I think that Shara's going to be the more powerful guy, and I think that's what it comes down to. He'll land the bigger blows in this fight. Yeah, I think it's going to be mostly a striking battle. These guys don't shoot takedowns. I don't think it goes to the ground at all. I think it stays in the feet entirely. And I'm going to go with Shara Bullet to win a decision, I think. What do you think, man?
I think it's a much more difficult fight than a lot of people think. I think a lot of people
Page?
I'm thinking about it, definitely, because the thing is, like, a lot of people expecting this to be an all-out striking fight, and I actually expected as well. I mean, I remember what Michael Page did to Paul Daly back then in Bellator, when everybody thought, like, he's going to strike with him. He just hold him down, and Shara doesn't have the how do you say that, the background to can keep it standing for some reason, man. I think he is one of the least great Dagestanis if it comes to the ground game. He has great striking. We saw that. But even in the fight with Armin Petrosyan, which he won the first round, I thought that was very close,
Yeah.
And Page is super difficult to hit. He's super elusive, and he's annoying, to fight. You saw it with Ian Gary. Ian Gary has just high fight IQ, in my opinion, how he fought him, Kevin Holland, low fight IQ, lost to him. you know. And I don't know, man, with Shara, you know. I don't know. I'm still not convinced. I think his striking is pretty fun to watch. But what does he do when he cannot hit MVP? Is he going to overcommit? Is he going to go after him, you know? MVP can shoot for a takedown, you know. I know MVP is not a wrestler, you know, but he can shoot for a takedown if he wants to, Shara. So I'm going with the decision for MVP, man. Let's go. Hit the button. Let's go with the dog. Let's go with the dog. But I'm not sure, man. If Shara wins,
I think what I did, I think James is picking our friend James. I think he's taking page 2. I think when we did the parting shot, we talked about this. I can't remember now, but I think he is. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Shara Bullet. A couple other comments. Read out him. I think Shara will lose. I don't think he'll be against MVP. Yeah, I kind of agree with that. Shara Bullet's crazy. Dude, he fights like every weekend basically. The UFC loves this guy. The MVP said in the Junkie interview it's a one-off. Yeah, he's going back to 170 after this, which I think is better for him. Yeah, he probably will be faster. I took that back as soon as I said it because I was like, it wasn't what I was trying to say. I just think Shara's going to have the more power and hit the bigger shots. I need MVP to stick around for one more against RDR. Oh, yeah, that'd be interesting, eh? Slow pace fight. It could be. It could be. I mean, a lot of Michael Page's fighters are the most exciting. We'll see, though. It could be exciting. It could be. Like Shara. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting fight. All right, let's go to the last fight here, guys. We got one more. We got the main event. We got Israel Adesanya, the former UFC middleweight champion, against Nasruddin Imavov. And the odds for this one have Izzy minus 166, Imavov plus 140. Marcel, take it away.
I mean, this might be the first time ever I'm picking back-to-back against not the Dagestani here. I'm picking Adesanya, dude. You know, I think Adesanya is way more striking-wise, way more better. I know Imavov's ground game is probably better than Adesanya's, definitely better than Adesanya's, you know. But get him there, you know. I know Drick is dead in the fourth round. Apparently got him to the Grad, choked him out. And the thing with Imavov is, man, he's pretty good. He's talented. Still, his cardio, I'm not convinced. You know, I think Izzy got the cardio. The thing with Izzy is if he doesn't win here, he might retire. I wouldn't be surprised if he retires if he loses here, to be honest, you know, because if he loses to Imavov, what's there to win for him anymore at middleweight, you know? So he probably knows that. Can Imavov win? He can win. And for some reason, Imavov doesn't get me over that last bump where I'm like, oh, yeah, Imavov. You know, he fought against Allen last time. And even if Allen threw a little bit more of a striking, he could have won against Imavov, in my opinion, you know. But Imavov won the fight. He deservedly won the fight in Paris. And I'm going with Adesanya, man. Adesanya by, I think, a decision.
Yeah, hit the button for me. I'm on the other side, man.
Okay.
I'm taking Imavov, guys, to win. Yeah, I think there's a few I've thought about this fight a lot. First off, it's not like I'm just making a random pick. I've thought about this fight quite a bit. So there's a few points here. Number one, I do feel like Izzy's on the decline. Like, I get it. You're going to say, oh, look who he lost to. And I agree. I mean, he lost to Duplessis, Strickland, and Pereira. There's no shame in those losses, but it's kind of how we lost too. Like, against Pereira, gets, you know, brutally knocked out in the 5th round. Obviously comes back and knocks him out. There's no shame in the Pereira loss at all, you know?
I wasn't brutally knocked out. It was a TKO, man.
I mean, the ref stopped it, but dude, he was going to get put out in his ass if he didn't. Then Strickland dropped hard, survives, but loses every round.
Mm-hmm.
And then against Duplessis, I thought he looked good. And I actually thought that was his best one of the recent fights. I thought he would win for sure. But then again, he gets hurt in the 4th round, taken to the ground and choked out. With Imavov, it's like, I just feel like he's the more well-rounded guy, and I feel like he's a lot of grappling upside in this fight, man. I think that's why I have to pick him, because I think he can get this fight to the ground. I really do. I think Izzy's takedown defense is okay, but it's nothing amazing. Imavov, to me, is the more well-rounded guy. I think his striking is good. I think his ground game is better than Izzy's for sure. Like, if it's just a striking battle, Izzy probably wins. But I think that he can mix in takedowns, man, and make it an ugly fight. I think he's had a nice little run here. Like, the Chris Curtis fight, he was going to win that fight before the eye poke. The Roman Dolidze fight says majority decision, but like, he clearly won that fight. It should have been unanimous. The Cannonier fight was close, but I thought he was getting the better shots. I don't agree with the stoppage, but I think he was on his way to, you know, getting a win there for sure. And then with Brendan Allen, it wasn't a great fight, but he did what he needed to do against the guy that was on, like, I think an 8-fight win streak, like, or something, 7-fight win streak. So he did what he needed to do in that fight. Sorry.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah, of course.
Are you convinced in this cardio?
Probably not, because the fight with Buckley, he slowed down. The fight with Hawes, but again, those are fights were a little while ago, and the Strickland fight too. The Strickland fight, but that was at 205, so don't know how much takeaway. And also, like, Strickland's, probably the best cardio in the division. So yeah, am I convinced of his cardio? Not 100% necessarily, but I think it's improved, man. I think it looked fine against the Leeds and Cannonier. I think personally, it didn't look good against Brendan Allen though, but he still got the win. That fight was so weird. I don't know what happened to those guys in that fight. Yeah, I just think, again, the grappling upside is why I'm have to pick him, man. If it was just a striking battle, I'd take Izzy, but I really do think Imavov will make some takedowns, guys. So I'm taking him. I also feel like Izzy's on decline. I have to pick Imavov. I have to do it. It's not going to be the most popular pick here, but you gotta do it, Marcel. So let's get some comments here. Yeah. I don't think he's a wash bomb. I think he's on the downside of his career, though. I think thought Izzy would be the bigger favorite. He opened at -215, so the odds have gone down a little bit. Thought Izzy looked great against Drake until he lost. He looked good, but again, he got tired and got finished. It was not a great look. Izzy being one of the top 10 biggest stars, fighting on a midday card in the US as well. He's in a weird spot because he's not a champ anymore. You can't headline him on a pay-per-view. And you also pay him a shitload of money, so you have to kind of put him in the Middle East where they pay a lot of money for the cards. That's kind of what it is. But yeah, he's fighting at I think it's noon or like 1-2 p.m., something like that. So yeah, you like Izzy? Okay, fair enough. I agree. Tristan wasn't a great look. Was he that big of a favorite? I mean, I did pick him against DDP. I liked him in that fight. The fact he got finished late is not a great look for me, man. I think so too, dude. I mean, that fight with Strickland was kind of, I think, where we should have seen it coming, really, because again, that prayer, there's no shame in those ones, but yeah, cardio. You like Imavov, and you think he fights Kaio? That's interesting. 75% Izzy was champ, 25% more than what's needed to be Imavov. Okay, so you're on Izzy. Who's 5 rounds favor? Probably Izzy, to be honest, but I still think Imavov can win this fight. I don't think Imavov will shoot at all. I think he will, man. I don't think he'll stand and trade the whole time. I think he'll shoot takedowns. Anyways, guys, so that's all the fights. So going through the card one more time. We had no consensus dog again, did we? No, we didn't have a consensus. You fucker. No, we didn't have one.
We had a few dogs, but not consensus.
You had took Korean, or no, you didn't. No, you took Lucas Alexander. That's one dog, and that's your only dog, I think.
No, I picked also MVP.
Oh, an MVP. Sorry, yeah, you took 2. My bad. Sorry, you just said that. I took Imavov, I took Lock Dog, and I took. That's it. Yeah, I think I took 2. So we both have 2, just different ones. We'll see what happens. So
I hope they hit all 4. Would be fun, right?
That'd be crazy if we hit all 4. I mean, it's possible, right?
Yeah.
We talked about Romanov a little earlier. Yeah, he posted on his Instagram. It's on his Instagram, right? Yeah,
on his profile, I think. Yeah.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that, Gary. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. We always love talking about the fights. It's late night. Now it's 5 a.m. for Marcel. So I'm gonna end this podcast here, guys. We're gonna do a short one. Fight announcements. We'll talk about GFL for a few minutes, but nothing crazy. But yeah, I want to just do a short one there, Marcel. We'll do a quick. I want to get you to bed, Marcel. You gotta put your thumb in your mouth and go to sleep soon, baby. So you gotta get to bed. Matthew, what's up, man? Thank you so much. By the way, I did get a message during the podcast from True. True sent me a new message again. He keeps doing this during the show, Marcel.
And was it false?
He said, Adam, my video didn't start when you did, so I'm way behind. I want to see the waiting for Hammy. Complete guess. He thinks Pogues is hard to bet, but he could win. And he got that huge odds on Bolaji Oki. So before the line flips. There you go. True, I don't know if you're going to hear it again, but I wanted to just give you a show, man, because I did read your comment. If it's not right. I don't think Marcel actually sleeps, personally.
Yeah, I do.
How many hours a day?
6 or 7. Mostly.
How? Where? When?
When you probably sleep as well.
You're on our schedule, but in a completely different schedule. All right.
Yeah.
Let me just get the new one set up here, guys. Give me a minute here. I'll tweet out the podcast. We'll do some fight announcements in GFL. Go through the teams.